This is Diana Sullivan in Austin, Texas, with a lesson on fisherman rib. And here's my needle arrangement. I'm starting with needle number 15 on the right on the main bed and putting out every other needle, and I've run over to needle number 16 on the left. So that's every other needle on the main bed. I am on normal pitch so that these gate pegs match up, and then on the ribber I have picked up every other needle from 14 on the right to 15 on the left, so that these needles on the ribber are in between the needles on the main bed. The carriage is set for zigzag row. The ribber carriage is all set plain and it's on the tightest possible tension. The main bed carriage has no buttons depressed, all set plain, also on the tightest possible tension. I'm threading the machine and I'm going to do the zigzag row. I put the yarn between the beds, doing my clothespin on the end to hold it, and knitting the one row. Here's the zigzag row, and while I'm talking, I'm putting in the comb, and then I'm going to hang a weight on each end of the comb and set the machine for the circular selvage. This is all exactly the same as I have done for all of the other 1x1 ribber cast-ons. I'm set for my circular rows on the main bed and the ribber carriage. I have it set on 1 and a dot for both tensions. I have the left part button depressed on the main bed, and I have the right part button depressed on the ribber carriage, and I'm going to do 3 rows. Here are the settings for fisherman's rib. Let me begin by putting both carriages on plain. Now, what I want to do is I want to tuck with the main bed as I go to the left. So I will put in the left tuck button. Then when I come back to the right, I want the ribber to tuck as I come back to the right. So I set this lever from R to P and this lever from N to PR. So it is going to tuck on one bed or the other all the time. It's very much like a double English rib. This is a thick, wide stitch because rather than knit the stitch, when it's set to tuck, it lays the yarn in, and you'll soon see how this widens the stitch. I'm setting both tensions up to 4. I want the sample to be very much equivalent to the one that I did that was half fisherman's rib, so that it's illustrative of the difference between the different stitches. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit 20 rows with fisherman rib. Now, just to illustrate how the stitch changes, I'm going to switch the main bed to plain. That'll mean that I'm knitting half fisherman's rib, and I'll do 20 rows of that. Finally, I'm going to switch both carriages to plain and do some rows of 1x1 rib, again, so that you can see how these stitches change the width and the thickness of the knitting. Next, I'll take it off the machine so that we can have a good look at the sample. So I'm just cutting the yarn, knitting across, and catching the knitting below. Here is the finished sample. The first 20 rows were fisherman rib, and that goes to right here. The second 20 rows from here to here were English rib, or half fisherman rib, from here to here. And then this was 1x1 rib on up the rest of the way. First of all, doing tucked stitches shortens the knitting. This is a shorter 20 rows than this, and this is a shorter 20 rows than this. Secondly, doing tucked stitches widens the knitting. So, if you need a very wide piece of knitting, let's say a really nice throw that would be comfortable for a big person on just the width of this knitting machine, you could certainly do it with fisherman rib, because look how very wide it is. Now, I haven't really pulled it out a lot. It's just sitting here resting. This is the sample that was the same width that was done with English rib the other day, and with the same tension too. So it is a much wider sample. It is also a thick sample. Every single one of these stitches has 2 threads, where normally there would just be 1. So you get a wide, thick sample. You also get a smooth looking knit stitch. You don't get the little bumps that you get with English rib. In addition, the English rib was not reversible. On this side it looks smooth, and on this side it has the bumps. The fisherman rib that we just did today is fully reversible. It is exactly the same on the front as the back. So it is a very warm stitch. It's very wide. It would be great for things like plus size clothing. It would be great for things that really need to be warm. I should also mention, although I don't plan to do a complete separate demonstration, that this can be done on full needle rib, and that you will need a thinner yarn to do that. For instance, it would work pretty well to use a sport weight yarn, like one of the sport weight baby yarns that's out on the market, and do this on full needle rib. So that's how to do fisherman ribbing.